From a young age, Chellappa was deeply devoted to his inner spiritual pursuit, displaying an intense introversion that puzzled his family. Despite their concerns, he maintained a strict discipline with himself, never asking for anything, even basic needs like food or clothing. His aloof nature set him apart from others, leading him to avoid social interactions and spend his time in solitude. His unusual behavior worried his parents, who sought help from doctors and astrologers, but no one could explain his reclusive disposition. Throughout his schooling, he remained distant, showing little interest in the material world, and his tendency to retreat into his thoughts or meditation was seen as daydreaming by his teachers and peers. As he grew older, Chellappa's longing for solitude only intensified. He would often wander away to remote places, meditating under trees or aimlessly walking, much to the distress of his family. They eventually learned to accept his wandering nature, though it caused them great sorrow. Chellappa's need for seclusion also influenced his choice of work. He spent his nights as a watchman near a cremation ground, meditating by the pyres rather than focusing on his duties. His profound inclination toward solitude ultimately led him to abandon even the semblance of a conventional life, fully embracing his spiritual journey. Chellappa discontinued his studies and began working as a public relations officer at the Jaffna Monastery, where his efficiency earned him the trust of the authorities. Despite holding a prestigious position, Chellappa remained detached and focused on his inner spiritual journey. He spent his nights in mystic communion with Lord Murugan, which led to noticeable changes in his behavior that puzzled those around him. As his spiritual experiences deepened, he appeared erratic to others, speaking to himself, chanting Om, and withdrawing further from social interactions. Eventually, he left his job and spent his days in solitude, unfazed by the misunderstandings and attempts of his relatives to cure him through rituals. Embracing his perceived madness, Chellappa found the freedom to follow his spiritual inclinations, spending time with sadhus and immersing himself in philosophical discussions. In a short time, Kadetswami, Chellappa's guru, guided him to the heights of God realization. However, Chellappa took longer to adjust to the profound impact of this spiritual awakening, spending long hours in deep meditation. Nallur Temple, an ancient Murugan temple with a sacred Shakti well, was central to his life and remains a significant spiritual site in Jaffna. Kadetswami frequently visited Chellappa there, and they would meditate together in secluded spots. On one particularly scorching day, as Chellappa sat in the temple compound, he suddenly put up his umbrella as if shielding himself from the sun. Minutes later, Kadetswami arrived, and Chellappa lowered the umbrella, leading onlookers to believe he had sensed his guru's approach and mystically provided shelter from the heat. The onlookers narrate some more stories about Chellappa Swami.
One day, Chellappa Swami was loudly scolding his sister by the family well when her son rushed out to defend her, screaming at the Swami to stop. The boy, in a fit of rage, leaped across the 2-meter-wide well, ready to fight, but as soon as Chellappa Swami touched his chest, his anger vanished, leaving him stunned and confused. Over time, the family learned to respect Chellappa Swami's guidance. Once, when they planned a pilgrimage to Kataragama, a famous Skanda temple, Chellappa Swami advised them not to go, saying, "God is here." All but one member of the group heeded his advice. The lone traveler, however, fell ill with malaria en route and spent 6 months recovering, spending thousands on medical bills, and never reaching the temple.
A child of Ramalingam from Kolambuthurai fell seriously ill, and the parents wanted to take the child to Swami for help. However, the mother-in-law cautioned them, saying, "We don't know what caste that madman belongs to. Don't take the child to him." Ignoring her advice, Ramalingam and his wife traveled 100 kilometers and brought the child to Swami. When he saw them, Swami called for the child and instructed them to seek a specific native medicine. Addressing the caste concern, he declared, "I swear by the sun and the moon, we are Valala caste from Vadakatai." After Swami touched the child, the fever subsided, and with the prescribed medicine, the child fully recovered.
After Cadet Swami departed from the earth, Chelapa Swami's behavior became erratic and unpredictable, resembling that of a madman. He spent days and nights motionless at the Nallur temple, showing no signs of hunger or thirst, lost in deep meditation. Despite his unkempt appearance, people revered him, bringing offerings and sitting at his feet in awe. Known as Nallur Siddhar, he lived, spending his time at a hut on his sister's property or on the temple steps, cooking his meals, and often rejecting food brought by others. His fierce demeanor kept people at a distance, yet they were drawn to him, sensing his spiritual significance. His presence and actions would go on to profoundly influence the future of Shaivism in Sri Lanka. Siva Swami, the successor of Chelapa Swami, described the enigmatic sage as follows.
Chelapa Swami used harsh language to rebuke those lingering in the streets, leading many to believe he was insane. During a time of British Christian domination, Hindu sages like Chelapa Swami had to disguise their spiritual practices to avoid persecution. Sannyasins wore white instead of the traditional orange robes, and Chelapa Swami likely adopted his madman persona, known as Unmatha Avastha, to protect himself from harassment. Locally referred to as Vizar, mad, Chelapa Swami, his eccentric behavior was a deliberate act, possibly instructed by his guru. To maintain this ruse, his family even had him put in chains, further convincing others of his apparent madness.
Chelapa Swami often stood before Lord Skanda's sanctum, dressed in rags, scolding passers-by in harsh language, leading many to believe he was mad. He wandered to places like Tirunelveli and Kolambuthurai, begging for food and sleeping on the ground, using his hands as a pillow. Despite his eccentric behavior, his skill in weaving palmyra and coconut leaves into intricate objects hinted at his true nature. However, this alone wasn't enough for the world to see through his disguise. He appeared as a madman to the unknowing, but to those seeking spiritual wisdom, Chelapa Swami was a profound sage. Siva Swami saw him as a royal guru who led him to bliss. Chelapa concealed his true self behind baffling disguises, fooling even scholars well-versed in Vedanta and Siddhanta. For 40 years he played the role of a lunatic, speaking cryptically in a language that required interpretation. His sayings, like intrinsic evil, there is naught, and absolute is truth, which none can ever comprehend, left listeners in awe of his depth, yet he remained an enigma, cloaked in ragged clothes and haunting Kandan's courtyard.
Chelapa Swami rarely gave direct answers, but those who were patient could catch occasional profound insights amidst his seemingly mad talk. Among Sri Lankan Hindus, there are many stories about the powers of a realized guru, but Chelapa Swami believed that true devotees, those who understand the essence of a Satguru, would overcome any obstacle to be with him. A genuine seeker recognizes the guru, no matter the guise, be it a homeless mendicant or a social outcast, and is undeterred by societal disapproval. A devotee committed to realization won't be swayed by rejection. He sees every action of the guru as a blessing. Such seekers are willing to transform themselves, changing their form, opinions, intellect, and nature to align with the guru. There are countless tales of disciples being turned away, only to return in disguise or after undergoing life-changing tapas, demonstrating their unwavering determination to follow the guru's path.
Chelapa Swami was known for his intense and unpredictable behavior, often scolding and chasing away anyone who approached him with dirt, mud, or whatever was at hand. Despite this, his harshness was a form of deep spiritual correction, targeting the inner flaws and imperfections of those who came to him. His rebukes, though painful and humiliating, were transformative, offering a form of psychic surgery that left devotees spiritually uplifted. Those who experienced his white anger understood it as a blessing, a powerful force that pushed them towards spiritual growth. Chellappa Swami's unique approach to guiding his followers was revered, especially by those of a subtle mind, like lawyers and judges, who feared and respected him as their inner guide and spiritual king. According to Yoga Swami, this guidance was not limited to seekers.
Chellappa Swami's fierce guidance was not limited to those seeking spiritual growth but extended to common passers-by, whom he berated for their vices and worldly attachments. His relentless truth-telling, no matter how humiliating, was seen as a divine blessing, changing the life force within people and leading them to a higher spiritual path.
Yoga Swami, his successor, often reflected on the necessity of such harshness, likening it to a fire needed to burn away rubbish. Chellappa Swami's method was to strip away all worldly attachments, guiding his disciples toward pure spiritual realization without allowing any distractions or displays of power. This strict and often brutal form of guidance was passed down to Yoga Swami, who understood its profound impact on the soul and carried on the tradition of the transformative scolding. This excerpt from Chapter 7 of the Guru Chronicles by Kauai's Hindu monastery offers just a glimpse into the extraordinary lives of spiritual giants like Kadate Swami, who transitioned from a high court judge to a revered Swami. Dive deeper into the rich history of one of the world's oldest spiritual lineages, explore their profound teachings, and discover the transformative journeys of these remarkable souls. Unveil the wisdom that has guided countless seekers on their spiritual path. This is a story you won't want to miss. You can grab a copy through my affiliate link in the description below. Thank you so much for watching and supporting this video. Please do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Stay blessed and Namaste.